Good morning and welcome to We Are Soccer, the show that talks about pro soccer, youth soccer, and everything in between. All right, today you're in for a treat. I got a little bit of a different show lined up. If you've watched the first 4 episodes, I normally have co-hosts, usually 1 or 2. Last week I was lucky enough to have 2 with Scott Emmert and Sam Pirani, Detroit soccer legends, joining me. We have co-hosts on the show for several reasons: to generate some discussion and some debates and good soccer talk. Today we're doing it a little different, as I said. I've been asked a lot of questions about myself and the show, so I figured we'd take some time to explain that. Plus we have some interviews lined up. I have this week recorded interviews with a high-ranking referee in the state of Michigan. That's an interesting discussion you'll want to stick around to listen to. I also had the executive director of the Michigan State Youth Soccer Association, who explains the position they were put in with the mandates from the governor and how they got around those and how they worked with the governor and the health team there. And then, last but not least, I've got a former MLS goalkeeper who I was able to chat with. And lucky enough, we did a Zoom call where we each were sharing a beer and talking about his career. So lots of stuff to look forward to. Before we get rolling with those pieces, though, I'd be amiss if I didn't say a big congratulations to the Livonia Bullets over 40 men's team that traveled down to Austin, Texas last week. These fine gentlemen here traveled all the way to Austin to compete in an over 40 tournament, and you might kind of snicker at the over 40 piece, but the competition was pretty good, and the Texas teams they faced weren't half bad, I tell you. They went 4-0, won in the final 3-0. Good squad there. Only traveled with 13 players, so it's quite a marathon there for those guys. So congrats, boys. Lots of fun. All right. So as I said, I've had lots of questions in the last several weeks about myself and the capabilities of the show and how it started. So I'd like to kind of take a few minutes to answer those if I could. The first question I'm normally asked is, what's in the mug? What am I drinking? Well, since it's 8 a.m. here in Detroit, I don't have anything funky in here, and I'm not drinking liquor. I drink tea in the morning. So I've got tea, normally with milk and 2 sugars. So if any of you guys are drinking out there tea or coffee, cheers to you this morning, all right? Okay. So I want to spend a few minutes talking about myself here, and we won't do too long. So I grew up in Metro Detroit. I played soccer here. I've been here for over 30 years now. I played rec soccer and then jumped into kind of travel soccer with Michigan Wolves. That was the main team that I played on back in the day. From there, I obviously played high school. I had a pretty decent high school career and was lucky enough to get picked up by Michigan State. Played all 4 years at Michigan State on their varsity team. Go Green. Joe Baum, legendary coach up at Michigan State, was the coach while I was there. He recruited me. And then during my first year, Damon Rensing came in. Damon is the current head coach at Michigan State and doing an absolutely stunning job. That program has just grown and grown and grown over the last decade or so. Damon is a good friend and a really good coach. So yeah, I then, after playing college, decided not to pursue a pro career. I had some opportunities to go on trial and maybe pursue that, but I turned it down for several reasons. I was kind of burned out a little bit from doing 15 straight years of soccer, but I quickly, I don't want to say regret not trying to go pro, but I quickly kind of jumped back in and started playing in the local leagues around here in Metro Detroit. And then I was picked up for Detroit City FC. I played during their first season, and as David Dwayhe mentioned when he was on the show a couple weeks back, I was part of history, right? The first team for Detroit City FC, I started the first game. I was the right midfielder there. It was quite the experience playing for Detroit City FC, and I love following Le Rouge. They are one of my top teams that I follow every year. It's so fun. The fans are phenomenal. The owners and the players are just fantastic, right? So I know a lot of you guys know who Detroit City FC is. Make sure this year, when the opportunity arises, you get out and get to some games. And this year, they're actually broadcasting all their games. I watched the game yesterday as it was broadcast online. Currently, Detroit City FC are down in Chattanooga, Tennessee. And yesterday they played Stumptown FC. Strange name for a team. Stumptown. I don't know where these teams come up with these names. It's bizarre. Doesn't compare to Detroit City FC. Detroit City FC were 2-0 winners. Go Le Rouge. All right, we'll talk more about that game as we go along here. All right, so you'll notice today I'm not wearing the We Are Soccer sweater gear. I've got my Aston Villa jersey on. This is the current Aston Villa jersey for the year, the away jersey. Big fan of when they put out a black jersey. So you've heard me talk several times in the past several shows that I'm a Villa fan, and I get a lot of people ask, why are you a Villa fan? How did you come to support them? Honestly, I didn't have a choice. There's pictures of me at 6 months old wearing a Villa kit, right? I was kind of born into it. My grandfather was a huge fan. My father's a huge fan. I've got uncles and cousins and aunts who are season ticket holders to Aston Villa, who still live in England, who are back in England. And yeah, they go to as many games as they can, go to all the home games, and they travel to a lot of the away games. Again, it's in the blood. I was born into it. Didn't have a chance, but I wouldn't have it any other way. Aston Villa for me are the best club in the world. I know a lot of you will disagree. You support your clubs and you'll say your club is the best club in the world, but for me, it's Aston Villa, as you can see. I want to take 2 or 3 minutes and talk about, I guess, my fandom, right, to Aston Villa, right? So 2 years ago, Aston Villa were up for promotion from the Championship into the Premiership. My brother Glenn and I, decided at the last minute, you know what, we're going to go watch this game. So within the span of about 48 hours, we'd flown to England, watched the game, and then flown back here to Detroit to the tune of about $1,500 each. Flight, 2 nights in a hotel, and ticket to the game. And that didn't include any of the booze we drank, because it was a good one that weekend. Obviously, Villa won. 2-1. They beat Derby County to get into the Premiership, and they haven't looked back. Last year they struggled, but this year we're in 11th. We got a game in hand. We can get into the top half of the table, and then we're moving forward. Aston Villa is next year really going to make that push for Europe, I feel. Again, best club in the world, right? Aston Villa visited the USA several times in the last couple of years, and I travel and watch them every single time. I try to stay in the same hotel that the players do. I hope to meet up with some of those players. You very rarely do, though, but when you do, you get your pictures taken. So I've got several pictures with the players. That's great. It's always a great experience, because you might not know it, but Aston Villa have a pretty big following here in the United States, and the North American Villains, as the group I'm part of, we meet up every year and watch a game on TV, and then we try to get together and just occasionally throughout the year watch as many games as we can and drink and have a good time. And then when the Villa do travel over, and they normally travel over non-pandemic times, we get together, watch those games, and have a good old time. It's phenomenal. The North American Villains does a great job of keeping everybody involved. And if you're interested and you need a team to support, I'm going to recommend Aston Villa. 2 quick side notes regarding my family and Aston Villa. Adam, if you could you bring up the picture of my kids, please? So I have 3 children there. Aiden, Adeline, and Aston. You heard that correct. My 3rd child, my son, my 2nd son there, the youngest one, his name is Aston. Luckily for me, my wife put up no fight for that, and she is, lovely. Love my wife, obviously. She knew I wanted to name one of my children Aston, and she was all for it. So our 3rd child there, Aston Hearn. Yeah, what are you going to do, right? We get a lot of questions like, why is he named Aston? Is it after the car? Is it maybe Ashton? No. His name is Aston, after the soccer club in England. So, little note there. And then, Adam, I've got another picture. This is what I keep next to my bed. All right, everybody's got a bedside table. This is a picture of what I have next to my bed. A picture of my wife and I, my beautiful wife, Lori Ann, and a picture of Paul McGrath, signed. Paul McGrath, to Villa fans, is known as God, right? He played late 80s, early 90s for Aston Villa, and we dubbed him with the nickname of God. He could do no wrong. He can walk on water. He is one of my favorite players. So I have a signed picture of an Aston Villa player next to my bed. Again, my wife hasn't said anything, so I'm very lucky, right? All right. Before we go on and start talking about the show and We Are Soccer, I'd like to introduce Adam, who's behind the scenes here. Adam is our producer and a damn fine producer as well. Hey, buddy. And to my surprise, when we started this soccer show, he'd come out after and start talking about the games. Adam knows a hell of a lot about the sport and a lot about teams. Oh man, it's fun to talk with him about soccer. So we're gonna have a few discussions today, and I'd like Adam to chime in. So that's his cue. Adam is allowed to talk and say whatever he wants because he is very knowledgeable. He likes to hide it though. Very good dude too. All right, so we are on episode 5 of We Are Soccer. Why did we start We Are Soccer? How did this get going? Woodward Sports Network, brand new sports network, online digital sports network here in Metro Detroit, started up. I know some of the guys here, all good dudes. I watched their morning show. I watched their afternoon show. You know, I was talking to them and we said, you know what's missing and is really a hotbed here in Metro Detroit is soccer. It needs a soccer show here. We've got a pro team. We've got a women's semi-pro team. We've got youth teams that travel around the country and regularly win. We've got players here who over the years and are just playing professionally in MLS, playing around the world. Why isn't there a dedicated soccer show? There's so much going on. It needs to happen. So we put our heads together, and here we are with We Are Soccer. We have a lot of plans for We Are Soccer. As I said, we're just in, I think it's week 6 or 7, live show number 5. Moving forward, we're going to do so much more. We're working on training videos. We've got interviews. You'll see several, 2 or 3 of those today. We're going to put together watch parties. Excuse me. We're also going to have some fun with some of the youth teams out there. We're going to put some little contests together and do some videos with the youth soccer teams in the area because, as I said, some of the players in this area are just absolutely phenomenal. I'll highlight one particularly. Miss Villarreal, who plays for the Novi Jags, has been ranked number 4 in the nation out of the top 150 women players, I think 16-year-olds. I have not seen her play in person, but I've seen video clips, and I've talked to parents on her team that have kids on her team, and she is a stunning player, just scores goals left and right and can take over the game. So just another example of the players we have here in Metro Detroit that need to be highlighted, and that's what we plan on doing. This is, I like to say, an interactive show, and this isn't my show. It's not your show. It's our show. That's why we call it We Are Soccer, right? So if there's segments you guys want to see, if there's interviews you guys want to see, if there's topics you want us to talk about, please write in, put it in the comments. I want to make sure that this show hits all the marks and we're able to cater to you guys. All right? Speaking of people in Metro Detroit and interviews, Adam, if you could load up the Steve Besk interview. This week I was lucky enough to interview referee Steve Besk. Here's a small snippet from that interview. The whole interview can be found on the We Are Soccer page later today, but for now, why don't we run a few minutes of that clip and you guys can see the conversation I had with Steve Besk. I want to welcome Steve Besk to the show. Steve, welcome to We Are Soccer. Thank you for joining.
Thank you, Craig. Appreciate for having me on.
No problem. All right, just so everybody's aware, Steve is one of the top referees in the state of Michigan. He refs high school, college, youth, you name it, he's done it. I've known Steve for a very long time. I've played against him, and he's also reffed a lot of the games I've been in. So one of the reasons I wanted to bring on Steve to the show is to talk about the way that the youth teams and even the high school and college teams and parents are kind of bemoaning referees.
I wanted to show that, one, referees are human. They don't have an agenda. They're not out to screw your team or your child, right? They're there to make sure that the rules of the game are enforced. Without referees, we don't have a game. So, Steve, let's just jump in. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got into refereeing, if you will?
So, having played the game my whole life, in college, looking for a way to make some extra money and get through school, and then refereeing just became an opportunity as a way to stay involved in the game. Personally, I did a little bit of personal training and coaching, but coaching just wasn't my calling. Definitely wasn't for me, which I understand there's a place for someone to be involved. And my way of giving back into the game was through refereeing. Someone has to do it, and I thoroughly enjoy being on the field. Just getting to be around top level players, and from the vantage point of the middle of the field, there's really no better way to watch a game than being in the middle. And so that's kind of how I got involved, and just kept at it, working all sorts of leagues and games from there.
I mean, that's great. And again, it's great that you're still involved with the game and you can still do this. One of the things we were talking about earlier was, you watch a lot of soccer. You watch a lot of soccer for many reasons. One, because you enjoy soccer. It's a love and a hobby. But two, you also watch to get better, right? You watch you watch Premiership games, you watch the Champions League games and other top level leagues. You watch where the referee's at, correct?
Yeah, I mean, we're always watching. I think referees are constantly doing self-evaluation or self-improvement by watching games at any level. It's something that we do as referees within group chats and emails and share clips just to constantly grow, because situations are always different. And it's not always to say, well, this guy got it wrong or right, but it's just to think about what happened in this situation, what you could consider, and hopefully that if the situation were to arise in your game, you would have at least some knowledge of how to handle situations.
So obviously at the pro level these days, we've got VAR, which that
Sure.
could be a whole discussion in itself, right? But the levels you're at were, the top level of where you're at now, college, right? College soccer. You've got guys who are 18, 19, 20 years old, and they are quick. They are really,
Sure.
really quick. You've as an AR got to keep up on the sideline, and in the middle you got to keep up. And you don't have that VAR. You don't have video to go back and look at, right?
We do a little bit. It's limited.
Okay.
So in some of the conferences that have adopted the VAR in the college game, the only thing you can review is whether the ball crossed the line.
Okay.
When there was a violent conduct, what actually happened, and then to make sure you didn't give a caution or a card to the wrong player. So you want to make sure. So it's limited. We don't have an offsides,
Right.
And we don't have, was that a penalty? Was it not? Was it in the box? Those things we can't. So it's limited, but there is a little bit of VAR.
There's, I'll say it's limited on some of the more important. Did I give a card to the right guy? Did I?
Sure.
But even at the top level of high school, you have to make an instant decision, right? And if you want to think about this, the viewers, if you've played soccer or you're watching soccer, there's 22 guys on a field, players on a field, and then you add in a referee and then a linesman. There are players doing this, right? Running in between you and the referee and the ball, and anything can happen. So the referees have to have such good eyes. Their job is actually so tough, and they got to make a quick split decision. Is it a foul? Is it not a foul? What happened? And they got to make an assessment. That's got to be tough. How do you guys kind of prepare for that?
All right, hopefully you guys enjoyed that little snippet of my conversation with referee Steve Besk. Thank you, Steve, for indulging me and chatting. That's just a little snippet. The rest of that interview will be up on our We Are Soccer Facebook page and YouTube channel later today. I encourage you to go ahead and watch the rest of it. We get into some little bit more in-depth conversations about things, and I'll say that talking to a referee will certainly change your mind on some things. I'd be amiss if I didn't say this. You might have heard it in the interview there, in the snippet of the interview. Guys, players, parents especially, and coaches, I know you know this, we need to start being nicer to referees, okay? I'm going to give you several reasons why. Listen, your U10 player who's playing in his game, he's trying his hardest, and he's probably got a referee on his game who's 14, 15, 16 years old. That young kid who's reffing your child's game, he's still learning the game as well, okay? We, as a soccer community, have done a very poor job treating our referees correctly. I've seen young referees abused over the silliest decisions, right? The ball goes out of bounds and he points for the opposite way that it should be. It happens, right? Because of that call, it doesn't mean your kid's not going to go pro or not going to earn a college scholarship, okay? We're driving these young referees out of the game. Please, please, start to treat referees nicely. And I get it, several of you who know me have heard me yell at referees. But at the end of every game, I go up and thank the referee, and I say, thanks for doing the game, thanks for doing the best you could. Hey, we'll see you next time. That's what you do, right? A good referee, like Steve, he and I had a conversation of, hey, there needs to be a relationship in a soccer game between a referee and the players. He needs to be able to understand the players. They've run 50 yards, they just got tackled, maybe they just got stepped on, maybe it didn't get called, maybe the referee missed it, and the referee has to have that relationship and confidence to say, hey, you know what? Maybe I missed the call, I apologize, I'll try to get it next time. And as a player, that's all you can ask for, right? So I'll let off a little steam, and the referees allow that usually. A good referee will allow the player to kind of yell a little bit, not too much. You're not swearing, you're not abusing the referee, you're not making him look dumb, but he understands what just happened, and he lets you let off a little steam. And after that, you let it go, all right? These young kids who are reffing now, we're driving them out of the game, so I want to make sure you guys hear this well, loud and clear. Your kids' games, just chill, all right? Let the kids play. The referees are still learning. Even if they're grown adults, we need them. We need referees. When your team shows up to play against the other team and there's no referee, what happens? Oh, wait. Nothing. Nothing happens. There's no game. You can't have a game without a referee, right? Maybe the referee was abused in the last game verbally, and he just can't do it anymore. So he didn't show up to your game, right? So don't have that happen. We need referees. They're part of the game. Human error is part of the game. I think we'll save VAR for a whole nother show because that's a discussion on its own. But just understand, all right? So please go ahead and watch the rest of the interview on the We Are Soccer page. It's interesting. And again, I want to thank Steve for indulging me in kind of chatting. I've known Steve for a while. Good dude, good referee. And I've seen him make mistakes, and he's admitted to some of them. And then the others, he tells me he saw it in a different angle. So, good dude. All right, I want to roll into the local pro soccer scene here for a little bit. Detroit City FC. Detroit City FC, supporter-owned. Even the higher up, like they're all supporters of the game. They love the game of soccer. Again, they'll be starting kicking off their home season here May 1st against the Maryland Bobcats. All right, May 1st is the first game. They've had 2 games so far. They're down right now in Chattanooga, Tennessee, playing in a little preseason tournament. They tied the first game 0-0. Yesterday they played Stumptown FC and won 2-0. Detroit City FC, the first half was looked like they were just kind of gaining some momentum and getting into the game. It was a little bit disjointed. I felt like Stumptown had the majority of the possession and the better chances, controlled it. Second half, Coach James had his team come out and they were firing. They were laying some tackles. They had some more possession. They were going forward. I thought DCFC did a real nice job. 2 good goals to really open that game up, and deserved winners. 2-0 Detroit City FC. Again, that was online. All Detroit City FC games are going to be online this year. You can watch them live. I will share those links through the We Are Soccer Facebook page, through Twitter, all of our social accounts. So you can come to our page, you can watch that game and have a discussion. One of the things we're going to start doing on the We Are Soccer is start having live discussions about these games, right? So we can talk and chat about it in real time, which is going to be fun. So stay tuned for that. All right. You know, every week we do a Detroit City FC prize pack giveaway. We give away 2 tickets and a scarf to a game. Last week's winner, he answered the question correctly, and the question was, what college did my 2 co-hosts for last week what college did they attend? Scott Emmert, Sam Pirani, both attended Madonna University, right? They had great careers there. There were many people who wrote in with the correct answer with a random drawing. Christian Emmert is our winner. Also, Christian plays for the over 40 Bullets Livonia Bullets team that won last weekend in Austin. So congratulations, Christian. I don't know if you've cemented your right back position though, Christian. You're still on tryout for the over 40 Bullets team. Just kidding, buddy. This week, same prize pack. All right, we got 2 tickets to an upcoming DCFC game and a scarf to give away. Your question to answer this week, you got 2 things. You got to answer the question correctly, and you have to share this We Are Soccer video on Facebook or the social channel that you're on. All right, question to answer is, who did Detroit City FC beat yesterday on Friday? Who did they beat? Who did they play? All right, they won 2-0, but what was the name of the team? Full team name required, and then share the video, please. All right, good luck, everybody. Okay, all right, so we've talked about some pro soccer, local pro soccer. We talked to a referee. Now I want to talk a little bit about youth soccer. It's been a really hot topic in the last couple of months, this past year, as we know, with COVID. There's been, here in Michigan particularly, there's been a lot of mandates put on the sports in general. I had a good discussion here, which we'll load up shortly, with the Michigan State Youth Soccer Association Executive Director, Tom Farrow. He explained some things. So we're going to talk youth soccer, which is brought to you by the Michigan Jaguars FC. And Michigan Jaguars are a fun, friendly environment, a club for players of every age and every level. An experienced and dedicated coaching staff. Visit them at michiganjaguarsfc.com. I was out last night at the U5, U6, and U7 training watching. And some of the coaches, I mean, when you're coaching U5, you know, kids are trying to roll around and eat grass and play with the butterflies, right? Their coaching staff does a really good job getting the kids engaged, kicking a ball, getting them to really start to learn the game. So big kudos to Trisha Wellick and her group of coaches. They do a phenomenal job with those youngsters. And again, it's great to see how many kids are joining up to these these younger, at younger ages. There must have been 100 kids out on the spread across the field last night, and it was really good to see. So really, really nice. I'm going to go ahead and ask Adam to play that Tom Farrow interview. Just a small snippet. We'll play a few minutes, and then the rest will be up on the We Are Soccer page later today. Go ahead, Adam.
All right, welcome to We Are Soccer. Today I've got Tom Farrow, the Executive Director of the Michigan State Youth Soccer Association, with us. Tom, welcome to the show. I appreciate you being with us, man.
Thanks, Craig. I'm glad to be here.
Cool. All right, let's jump right in. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, about the Michigan State Youth Soccer Association and the role it plays within soccer in the state?
All right, so I'm the executive director for the Michigan State Youth Soccer Association. Our acronym is MSYSA. So MSYSA is the state governing body for youth soccer in Michigan. Our membership exceeds 90,000 players. We have about 11,000 team officials. There are probably 2,000 or more referees affiliated through our sport. And we are a member of U.S. Youth Soccer and U.S. Soccer. And on the national stage, there are about 3 million players that play youth soccer. So we're the state governing body, bunch of clubs and leagues, Parks and Recs, YMCA's. A lot of them affiliate through us.
So almost any soccer league within the state of Michigan has to be affiliated. Almost all of them, right? Have to be affiliated with you guys and run through. I don't know how that works. And I've played soccer for years.
Yeah, a lot of them are affiliated with MSYSA. I mean, we do have a few competitors in the state, but many are affiliated through MSYSA.
I mean, you just named 90,000 players and coaches and teams and referees. So you're over 100,000 people who are kind of associated with you guys. And I know growing up, I was as well. I'll be honest, you know, Tom, you and I met, man, it must have been going on 20 years ago now. And
Wow. Yeah.
I've known you as a coach. I've known you as a referee. I've known you as a manager of a sports and soccer facility. This executive director role, I couldn't think of anybody better, because you've done it all in the state of soccer. And one thing I will say is you have a passion for the state of for soccer. So it's great to see you in a role and pushing the sport forward in the state. It's really good to see.
I appreciate that. You're right. I've kind of come up through the ranks. I was involved, as a coach in Farmington and Livonia. I was a club president, a league president. I've been in this role for in excess of 22 years. I can say without question, this has been definitely the most challenging.
Right. This year particularly, right? I mean, with the pandemic and then the governor shutting everything down, and Michigan's governor, and I don't want to get too much into the politics. I want to talk more about the soccer, but I think if we could chat about how hard it's been for you guys this year, and getting back to playing, and some of the protocols you've put in place to help that. Can you kind of chat about that with us for a few minutes?
Yeah, I mean, I think everything with COVID for us started in March of last year, and in short, back in March of 2020, there was a lot of fear. I think there were a lot of folks that felt like this was only going to last a few weeks. I can say that we didn't get a lot of help in the beginning from the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services. So there were a lot of executive orders, for good or for bad. There were a lot of executive orders, and our association followed them. There was a shutdown of spring soccer. There was a shutdown of summer soccer. We also canceled in-person travel tryouts. We canceled our Olympic development program. In short, there were a lot of kids that weren't able to play soccer. We were not popular for decisions that had to be made in an effort to keep people safe.
Sure, yeah, absolutely. And then you guys don't do too much through indoor, but coming back this year, some pieces that were put in place were the facial coverings, and then more recently the testing. And how has that been going? Have you been getting a lot of kickback on that stuff? I obviously play, and I know how it is. So, it's just part of the gig of playing at the moment. So have you guys gotten a lot of kickback?
All right, I want to thank Tom Farrow there. Great interview. The rest of it can be seen over at the We Are Soccer Facebook page and on all our other social channels. I'll put that video up today. As you can see, Tom and the Michigan State Youth Soccer Association have been put in a really tough spot this year. At the beginning of the whole pandemic, the Michigan Health Department really didn't help them out, didn't give them any clue as to what was going on. But Tom found some people at the University of Michigan Health Department to talk to and help him out. As I said, they're put in a really tough position, right? Mandates put down of masks must be worn while playing soccer. Kids 13 and older got to get tested. I mean, Tom has a staff that's a dozen or so. They don't have hundreds of employees in MSYSA. And they're responsible for over 100,000 players, coaches, referees. They've done a really good job. So big kudos to Tom and his team there. Watch that full interview. It's really interesting, and to see the spot that they've put in. So to jump more into a lighthearted discussion away from that, because again, on We Are Soccer, I don't want to stay too much with the political. I avoid that. This is all about soccer, from the youth all the way up to pro. We're focused 100% on the sport of soccer, and keep the politics out of it. As you know, you've seen in the last couple of weeks, one of my guests who is here, Aaron Bird, he runs Next Level Training. And Aaron is one hell of a trainer if you haven't figured it out yet. He trains youth, he trains professionals. Aaron does it all at Next Level Training. Those dudes are absolutely ballers, man, ballers, and they make it so fun. We've got 2 or 3 little training clips up on the We Are Soccer pages and social channels that you can go and view, and then just a couple minutes of how to get better at soccer, how to increase your foot speed, how to increase your comfortability on the ball. And if you have a young player, a young athlete in your house and you want to get them to improve, 5 minutes a day with a little soccer ball in the basement or outside, doing these little tips and drills that Aaron kind of shows and we've got stored on our socials will really help. 5 minutes a day, that's all it takes. Adam, if you could do me a favor and get the clip of Aaron Bird lined up. Aaron did a little video for us, and we'll go ahead and play that. Thank you.
Welcome guys, Aaron Bird from Next Level Training with another short training video for you guys for the We Are Soccer show. Super excited, real quick, real simple. All you need is a ball and a wall, 2 little markers, use cones, use shoes, use whatever you want. Very basic, little bit of time, you and the ball getting better. First one, right foot only, 2 touch. Second one, left foot only. Third one, both feet combined. Right, right, left, left, right, right, left, left, right, right, left, left, right, right, left, left. Fourth one. Play. Settle. Push past the cone. Grab it. Bring back and restart. Play. Settle. Push. Pull. Boom. Notice, guys, in this one, I'm going to rebalance after I rebalance, push. Turn my hips, eyes come up, pull, cut, start again. Fifth one, left foot, play, settle, push, eyes come up, cut, start again. Play, settle, push, eyes come up, cut, start again. Guys, very basic, 5 of them. 2 options. 1 minute at each one, 30 seconds rest in between, or 40 seconds on, 20 seconds off, 2 times through. 10 minutes of work, guys. A lot of repetition. Get better with the ball, have fun with it, enjoy it. Work on your balance, work on your base, stay active, play firm. If you want to challenge yourself, count your reps, see how many you get in. Enjoy it, guys. We hope you're enjoying these videos we're putting together, guys. We're going to continue to send these your way. Hopefully you, your kid, your athletes are getting better, enjoying them. Be sure to check us out on any of our social medias, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, we got them all. Check it out, see a lot of the athletes we work with, see a lot of the sessions we do with them. Let's go, guys.
All right, hopefully you guys are liking those tips and drills with Aaron. I got to be honest, I go home and do them. I want to be a better soccer player, and I'm 40 years old. Aaron is, as I said, just a stud of a player, one of the most highly regarded trainers in the country at this point. So these little tips that he's giving, these little drills, again, if you've got a young athlete, go ahead and have them try that for a couple of days. You will see some noticeable difference, all right? One of the things Aaron always says is practice with a purpose, right? So if you're doing it, or if you're having your youth player do it, practice and do these drills with a purpose. We're not just walking through them. Do them, try to get better at them, and as you get better, go with speed. All right, a lot more training tips from Aaron and Next Level Training coming on We Are Soccer. All right, we're gonna roll into some world soccer now, and that's our world soccer segment is brought to you by Ross Mortgage and Tim Merritt. For over 70 years of mortgage lending experience, visit Ross Mortgage. You can depend on Ross for competitive rates, quality service, and fast response, and no surprises. Make sure you talk to my boy Tim Merritt. Good dude, good soccer player. He will find ways to save you money. All right. So now what we're going to do is we're going to jump in and we're going to talk to a delusional Man United fan. Man United fans are, as we all know, the best way to describe them is delusional. So I'm going to jump in here, and I gotta hear him, so I'm going to put these on. So, all right. Are you there, delusional Man United fan?
Hey, how are you?
Good, good. How you doing, man?
Oh, I'm just sorry. I'm just really distracted. I'm just reading through all this news about who United's going to sign this summer, and between Grealish, Haaland, Sancho, Rice.
All right.
I'm just too distracted all the time.
Realistically, I'm assuming you're sitting at home on your couch wearing your Manchester United hat, your jersey. You've probably got the full kit on, if I'm not mistaken.
Pretty much.
Yeah, I figured. All right. Realistically, who do you expect to sign this summer? Who do you expect Man United to go out and sign?
I really hope that they actually just sign Pogba. I mean, that's my dream at this point, is that we re-sign him.
Really?
I think he's just key to the squad. Oh, yeah. I mean, of course you can say, Haaland, Sancho, Rice. I mean, all these guys I want. I mean, don't get me wrong. But, I mean, the key to everything, I think, is Pogba. And then everything will kind of trickle down from there. I mean, they share agents too, right, with Haaland. Not a big fan of him.
Right.
Not a huge fan of him.
Oh, man, that agent is just...
You know what? Signing Pogba is key to everything.
I like that answer. I think that's a solid answer. I'm not a huge Pogba fan because he turns off in games, or he turns up and he doesn't. It just doesn't seem interested.
He does. But, I mean, him in a nutshell is, if you watch the Europa League game, I mean, the guy is just, I mean, he's a man among boys. I mean, he really is. And
he is.
And he's almost a victim of his own size and his own strength and his own skill.
When he wants to be, he is. You're right. So, okay.
He is. I'm not going to lie. I don't yell at him. I yell at him at times, and I love him at times. Yeah. He does kill me.
So let's talk about the game they have this weekend. You guys have Burnley visiting Old Trafford. I'm going to remind you, before you give me your score prediction, I'm going to remind you, last year Burnley visited Old Trafford and won 2-0, right? Burnley have been on a slide here as of late. And Man United, you guys have been playing well. So realistically, what score do you expect to come out with tomorrow?
It's a recipe for disaster, I'm not going to lie. But I'm going to say it's going to be 2-1 United. It's going to be a stressful game as always.
Yeah.
But somehow we'll pull it off, and hopefully we just don't have any more injuries or anything like that. I get nervous every time Rashford's on the field because I feel like we're running him to the ground. So
yeah, understood.
2-1.
2-1. All right.
I'm guessing Cavani's going to score.
Okay, so that was my next question. Cavani's been in really good form. He's really taken this league in the last couple of weeks. Or he's just grasped what's going on, it seems like, and now he's come to play. I think he gets a goal. I think Man United win. Burnley are, as I said, they're on a bit of a slide. It could be but you never know with Man United. If Pogba doesn't show up,
it's not an away game either. So
right, yeah, this is true. All right. I'm gonna tell you right now, you're not signing Grealish. And I heard the rumor this week that you were gonna dump Henderson, you're gonna dump De Gea, and you're gonna go with Emi Martinez from Villa as well. So a double swoop, you're gonna come through.
I don't know who's delusional or not.
Yeah, I was gonna say whoever came up with that rumor is just the newspapers writing headlines, right?
Well, that's the fun part about United. You can't. I mean, it's hard to.
Yeah.
cipher through the crap, honestly.
It is.
Because United's used as a springboard to sign people, to get people
It really
contracts other places.
Although the rumor, I think it was confirmed this week. Holland's agent did meet with Man United, so you're in with a shout there. You're in with a shout.
I fingers crossed. You know, he'd be a perfect fit for United. But he's got city ties with his dad, so I'm a little hesitant on that still.
Agreed.
And they have the money. We have no money. We give it all to Brady.
Yeah, you guys are in debt heavily, as we all know. But still delusional, and you still think you're in with a chance to sign him. I don't think it'll happen, but good luck.
Actually, we win on Sunday. We're 8 points behind City. There's always a chance.
Okay, so there's the delusional piece. You're not winning the league. You're not winning the league. Okay, all right.
I just want to get closer. I want to get away from Leicester City. I want to solidify second and win Europa League.
You got, in my
opinion,
opinion,
that's not to help Liverpool. I do not want to win Europa League to help Liverpool.
Oh, there it is, a little jab at Liverpool. It's always there. You Man United fans are all the same. All right, well, delusional Man United fan, I appreciate the call, and we look forward to talking to you again. All right?
Thanks.
Thanks, buddy. See ya.
See ya.
All right, so it seems like the delusional Man United fan has actually grasped a little bit of reality here, and he understands that maybe they won't be winning the league this year, all right? So it's good. He's kind of grounded himself. Along with that Man U Burnley game, Arsenal play Fulham was the other game on my agenda to watch this weekend. There's a few EPL games, not a ton due to FA Cup and other pieces going around, but those two games, Man U Burnley, Arsenal Fulham, ones to keep your eyes on. What's happening this weekend's the FA Cup. We've got Chelsea and Man City, and then Leicester versus Southampton. Chelsea, Man City, both in the semifinals of the Champions League, and also here in the semifinals of the FA Cup. Both teams are going to want to win it, but they're also going to keep an eye on their other goals, right? So Man City still going after the quadruple. They can still get it done. I got to be honest, I put a $1.50 bet on them to win the quadruple. It's worth $1.50. If they don't, if they do, I win, I don't know, $7. But that Chelsea-Man City game coming up later today, that FA Cup game, that's going to be a good one. Man City like to hold the ball, like to come out and play. Chelsea are very boring, but I think if Pulisic gets some space, he could really run at that Man City back line and really put it on. If Pulisic plays, who knows with the FA Cup and what Tuchel has in mind. Pulisic needs to be playing. He's been playing great as of late, so hopefully he starts. Hopefully he gets a chance to get the ball and run at Man City there. I think Man City win that game 2-1. I think Leicester beat Southampton probably 3-0. And those two teams will meet in the final of the FA Cup later this year. All right. In a minute here, I'm going to have a phone call from our Bundesliga expert, and we're going to chat about some of the games. So our Bundesliga expert, if you could go ahead and give us a call, I'd appreciate it. We'll chat now. If you haven't been keeping check on the Bundesliga, Bayern Munich won, RB Leipzig second. RB Leipzig missed a big chance 2 days ago, yesterday, the day before. I watched the game against Hoffenheim to move within, for lack of a better term, spitting distance of Bayern Munich. The game finished 1-1. RB Leipzig just didn't have that final class, that piece of touch in the final third, in my opinion. So. Looks like we've got our Bundesliga expert on the phone. Bundesliga expert, how are you, sir? He may be taking a sip of beer out of his Bierstein. Let's give him a second here. Are you too busy watching the Bundesliga games? Yeah, that's what I figured. Okay, well, it looks like the call dropped, so we'll wait for him to call back. If you haven't gotten into the Bundesliga recently, I highly recommend you do. It's getting down to the business end of the season, and teams are fighting for those final spots. Highly recommend watching Bundesliga games. For me, it's become the second, my second favorite league, right? I like the English Premiership. I love the Premiership. The Bundesliga, the creativity of the young players. The league is just, it's one to watch. I think we have our expert back on the phone. Are you there, sir?
Hey, man, sorry.
No, you're all right. Yeah,
It
technology.
takes old people.
Well, I mean, you're calling from Germany, so what can I say, right? I know you're not calling from Germany,
Right,
but
right.
anyway. So, what's on the plate this weekend for the Bundesliga? What are the games you're looking forward to watching?
So there's several good games, and right now the league is getting really, really tight. There's only 18 spots versus 20, but there's the same amount of Champions League spots, same amount of Europa League spots, same amount of relegation spots. So everything gets really, really tight around this time, and all the points get really, really close, except, of course, if you're in Munich, sometimes you're just pulling ahead. But everywhere else throughout the table, you got just a few points separation from everyone. So the teams that I'm looking to watch, or the games I'm looking to watch in match week 29 here, I think Gladbach versus Frankfurt is going to be really exciting.
Yep.
They got Silva, second leading goal scorer right now in the Bundesliga, and Kasic, who's actually the second leading assists, and they're just kind of on fire sometimes. I think they popped in a bunch of goals last time they played last week, and it was a very exciting match. So I look to have that be pretty exciting as they try to hold up that fourth spot there in the Champions League with Dortmund fighting on their heels, which that segues into Dortmund versus Bremen, which, I mean, we got Jude there, your favorite player.
Yeah, I love Jude Bellingham.
Hazard. Yeah, I mean, you know, the delusional Man United fan a couple minutes ago was probably kicking himself because he was originally looking to sign for United, and actually Dortmund picked him up. So, but to be honest with you, he's flourishing in Dortmund because, you know, they play their younger players, and who knows what would have happened if the story was different.
Oh, absolutely.
But you also got Dan.
I want to touch on that for a few seconds. I think one of the greatest things about the Bundesliga is the fact that all these young kids, all these young players want to go over there and play, right? So you've got Jude Bellingham, Jadon Sancho, Erling Haaland. I mean, that's just the tip of the spear with some of the players. You've got Gio Reyna. Obviously, we all know Christian Pulisic really made his name there. The Bundesliga has become this league that all these young, hot talent players just get over there and start to flourish, and they get the opportunity to play. Now, Dortmund specifically have groomed a lot of these players to come through, but there are other teams within the Bundesliga doing the same thing, right? There are other players who are at these other teams that are flourishing as well, that we're going to start to learn their names in the next couple of years.
Well, a lot of that goes to culture and philosophy with many of these clubs, and they value that culture and philosophy of bringing up their players and giving them chances. It's not just about buying the players. It's about bringing them up through the youth ranks and having them understand the culture of the club and the identity of the club within itself. So
I think that's
the main thing. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. You're right. It's 100% that. It's the culture and bringing them up and teaching them the right way. You know, I read an interview with Pulisic a couple of years back, and he said, I went to Dortmund. In America, when I was here, I was heralded as the next greatest thing, and everybody treated me like a god. When I went to Germany, they treated me like crap. He's like, I had to earn my right. I had to earn my way up and clean boots and shag balls after the practice. And he's like, you know, that doesn't happen here, and that's why he went there, and that's why Gio Reyna's gone there, and that's why all these other young players have gone there. So I hate to cut you short. We're running out of time. Can you give me one prediction if I was to say recreationally bet on one of the games this weekend? Give me a prediction that you think is a lock.
So you can lose money again, like I helped you with yesterday.
Yep.
I guess. Yeah, awesome.
I am going to blame you when I lose, yes.
Yeah, you should, because I am awful at this. Dortmund versus Bremen. Bremen needs to stay afloat, but Dortmund they don't make Champions League, they're going to be in trouble.
Absolutely.
So I would expect them to come out flying.
Okay. All right. Well, I like that. That's a game to keep your eyes on. I like this. I want to keep talking about the Bundesliga. So let's see if we can get you back on the next week or the week after, and maybe we'll do a little bit of video as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Hopefully I will figure out technology by then.
All right, buddy. Appreciate the call, and we'll talk to you soon.
Hey, thanks.
Thanks.
Bye.
See ya. All right. So lots of good games this weekend in the Bundesliga. Lots to look forward to. Also this weekend, specifically last night, the MLS kicked off. Before I jump right into that, I do want to say the MLS is a little bit of a necessary evil, I guess. I don't know. A lot of people don't like the MLS. I'm getting back into it here a little bit. I will say the lack of promotion and relegation in the MLS, something that really bothers me. The lack of them working with lower level teams, lower leagued teams really bothers me. But for the show, We Are Soccer. We focus on the soccer, the players, the teams. So that's why we're talking about that. I did an interview this week with former MLS goalkeeper Mitch Hildebrandt. Good dude, grew up here in Michigan, went to Oakland, solid standout goalkeeper for Oakland University, then made his way up. If we could play that interview, Adam, please do, and I hope you guys enjoy just a small snippet here.
All right, I'd like to welcome Mitch Hildebrandt to We Are Soccer today. Mitch grew up in Livonia, played college soccer at Oakland University. He finished at Oakland with 249 saves and 19 clean sheets. Mitch was quite the college soccer player. I watched a couple of his games, and he went on from there to play professionally. But before we jump into that, why don't we say hello to Mitch? Mitch, how you doing, buddy?
Great, man. Hey, cheers. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Cheers. Thanks for being with us. So if you've watched any of the previous episodes, you'll notice a reoccurring theme in the first couple of Detroit soccer legends. Several of us have named you as one of those because, to be honest, you've done what a lot of us were aspiring to do, right? You played youth soccer, you went to college, you then played pro, and you made it all the way up into the MLS. The tip of the spear in American soccer, MLS. So it's awesome to see, and it's even better because I've played against you several times, and I hate playing against you. By the way,
on me a couple of times too.
Oh, well, just a couple, but I mean, I always hated it when I showed up. I'm like, are you kidding me? Is he here again? Are you kidding me? Put an L in the column there. Well, let's jump in. Let's talk about when you started pro. You joined Minnesota Stars FC in 2012, correct?
Yeah, that was my first professional contract coming out of college. It was tough, man, because I wasn't drafted into the MLS, so it was kind of like, what are you going to do? And the roads in soccer in this country, although getting better, I don't want to sound old, but 7-8 years ago, even then it was very tough. So, packing up my car and going around to trials and sleeping on couches and hoping that I get signed somewhere was kind of the trick of the trade. And luckily, I'm very, very fortunate that I was signed and I spent 4 years there.
Yeah, I mean, I remember you came back to Michigan a few times and we talked about it, and you were telling me kind of how it was going and the ups and the downs and the change in, I think, management that happened a few times. So you really worked your socks off because from there you jumped.
All right, thank you to Mitch Hildebrandt, former MLS goalkeeper, played with Atlanta United. Go ahead and watch the rest of that interview, which will be posted later today on the We Are Soccer social channels. That's a good one. That dude is good, the way he moved and the way he worked his career up from a collegiate standout. He didn't get drafted. He had to work his butt off. It's a great interview. So now what we're going to do is we're going to jump into something I like to call the MLS Games of the Week. All right, and this segment is brought to you this week by Superior Family Dental. Superior Family Dental, the official team dentist of the Detroit Red Wings. They have a super friendly staff. They have 2 locations, one in Milford, one in Farmington Hills. If you are playing soccer and you need mouth guards, they custom make mouth guards, not like the bite and grip ones that you can get cheap. They make them very nice and fit and protect your teeth. So if you're a goalkeeper like Mitch, you're gonna take a ball to the face. You're gonna get protect those teeth. Visit SuperiorFamilyDental.com. All right, so you've noticed I've switched jerseys. All right, so I had my Aston Villa jersey on. I'm a super Villa fan, as you heard earlier. I want to get in, start getting into MLS a little bit more in coming weeks. And MLS kicked off this past weekend. Some good games last night. Great game last night. Sounders at home. Seattle Sounders at home to the Minnesota team. Great game. Sounders, that first goal they scored could be goal of the year. Look that clip up if you haven't seen it. Great, great goal. But I am wearing the Inter Miami jersey. I'm not a big fan of the team name, but I'm a fan of the team. So in order to get into something, I like to really jump in and go all in. So I've picked Inter Miami as the team for me to support this year. One, I like David Beckham. Obviously, I have an English history, and David Beckham was the England captain. I love Miami, by the way, so that really helped. Hoping to go to one of the games later this year. So Inter Miami's my team. I bought the jersey. Love the jersey. Like the colors, the design. You should follow Inter Miami too. We can have some good discussions. Some games coming up this week, or this weekend for MLS is LAFC versus Austin FC. Austin FC, brand new team to the league. Cool stadium down there, cool people. Celebrity owner Matthew McConaughey, part of that group that owns the Austin FC. LAFC, that'll be a good game. And then on Sunday, Inter Miami versus LA Galaxy at 3 o'clock. I believe that's on ABC. Great game, right? So David Beckham came to America, played for LA Galaxy. Part of that whole contract and negotiation was when it was ready, he would get a team, and he has Inter Miami. So those 2 teams are playing. All right. Looks like my time is up, folks. A lot of stuff we didn't get to that will contribute in the next couple of days. You'll see some videos from us up on our social channels. That's a wrap. I want to say a big thank you to Woodward Sports and Adam behind the scenes. Adam, thank you. Great job as usual, my friend. Do us a favor, if you could, go ahead and like all the We Are Soccer social channels. Be sure to like the Woodward Sports social channels as well. Good dudes, great content that they produce every day. Yeah, so again, I really appreciate it, and cheers to you guys. Enjoy the weekend.